Alrighty, we are about to go live. I mean, we are live. We've been live for about 3 minutes. But with that being the case, we're gonna make sure that the stream is just rolling, making sure everything is okay out in the background. So I'm going to have some music playing in the background while I talk for a second. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their Sunday afternoon. You know, just a nice little chill stream today. Didn't really stream the rest of this week just due to camp and basketball games just taking up all of my time this week, so I do apologize. So I'll probably stream tomorrow just because I have more time with the way things are set up. There's not really practice tomorrow going on, so I'll have a little bit more time to stream. But I hope you guys are enjoying a nice, chilling, relaxing Sunday afternoon. If you're here in the Seattle or the Pacific Northwest, you're absolutely dying in heat right now. I don't know what they decided to do here, but it is absolutely ridiculous with the way that this is going on. But with that being said, let's get started really quick. Before we do get started here on The Charge, I do want to talk about a couple things really quick. I wanted to shout out to all my subscribers and to everybody that's here on The Charge, tuning in live, whether you're watching it now, whether you're watching it later. Really appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and checking out the stream. We will be talking a lot about kind of the Trae Young stuff, what happened in the game today, talk about Middelton going off for a career high. I think that's got to be highlighted more than anything. And you know, just an amazing series overall. And also, you know, talk a little bit about the Suns series that we just saw previously with the Clippers and the Suns. So that'll also be fun to talk about as well. But before we do, again, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you're new to The Charge. Remember, the more likes, the more subscribes, the more YouTube will put us in the algorithm. I also did want to announce, I know my friend is busy enjoying a nice little vacay with his significant other down the border, but I just want to also say that our friend Sean, if you guys don't know, Sean is a frequent watcher of The Charge, great friend of mine, and I will actually be having him run my Twitter account for The Charge to be a little bit more active. I feel like he talked to me about it, and he just feels like being more active in the Twitter community is what we need. So I'm going to have him kind of run that. So just know that his opinions are going to be there on The Charge as well. So that's his contribution to the channel. And appreciate anybody. If anybody wants to do something for The Charge, let me know. I'll be happy to kind of give you The Charge branding to kind of do whatever you want, whether that's you know, maybe Twitch streaming or more YouTube videos. If you want to put YouTube content out on my channel, I am all for that as well. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys are watching or if you guys are interested, because I'll also be doing that as well. You know, just kind of watching that and kind of looking at that in that aspect. We will also be watching a little bit of the Hawks-Bucks series and kind of the adjustments that I felt the Hawks did and also that the Bucks did to get the advantages that they were looking for. They absolutely did a tremendous job of doing those things. So we'll check that out in just a second. But like I said, before you do that, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Now, before we get started, everybody, I did want to say we do have, and let me go to the live scene so you guys can see, we do have a donation link. So if you guys are interested in donating to the channel, here's the donation link. Again, it's not necessary, but if you do want to see your name pop up on the channel, then that is what you'll see. And you'll also see that we have merch as well. We have merch. We have coffee mugs. We got sweatshirts. We got jackets. Or sorry, sweatshirts. We got a t-shirt. Probably need a t-shirt for this hot sunny day. Probably more so than the sweatshirt. But if you do live in a very colder region, I think a sweatshirt would be nice for you guys to have on the channel or just to wear around. Like I said, if you guys are interested in that stuff, let me know in the comment section down below. And also just, yeah, again, not necessary. You don't need to do that. But if you are interested in it, let me know. But before we get started, we got to talk a little bit about what happened in tonight's game. So let's talk about the game really quick. The game to me was kind of one of those, and of course my screen's not here. To me, the game today was more so about really the adjustments that the Hawks made, and also kind of the abysmal start that the Bucks went on. When I remember when I was watching the game, the Hawks were on a 7-0 run at the beginning of the game, just due to turnovers from the Bucks. They were just trying to force things. Giannis was trying to do too much Giannis stuff at the time, and so it really caused a bit of a turnover battle, right? Or not really a turnover battle. It really caused some turnover issues as it pertains to what is going on with the Hawks. But like I said, we're going to watch a little bit of the clip so you guys can see what I'm talking about in this instance. Again, shout out to MLG Highlights for the video. Again, turnover here to kind of start off the game. And again, I'll move this over a little bit so you guys can see. Again, a turnover after scoring on the bucket, getting Capella at the first 4 points. So it was a great thing to see Capella just kind of going off and doing his thing. Again, Kevin Huerter getting open looks, trying to play under the screen. I'm not sure what they're trying to do on this screen. Let's look at it really quick. Again, Kevin Huerter is a good shooter. I don't know why they're going under the screen. And it just creates, and you can see Middleton's upset with Giannis because he felt that he could have had a switch in that scenario and really caused a little bit of an issue. But Giannis decided to stay back. And people that are watching, people that are still playing high school basketball or just playing some sort of basketball, communication is key. I talk about this as a coach to my players, and I'll talk about it as just a fan of the game. You have to communicate out there. You can see why communication is important because this led basically that 7-0 run that we were talking about where you see here that Middleton's upset because he said, hey, you got to switch on to him, Giannis. But that didn't stop too long because then you got Drew Holiday back on the boards doing his thing. We got Trae Young trying to get the ball back. Again, that left to right, I believe, or right to left. I can't remember. I think it was a left to right. The little 1-2, get into it. Great jumper, gets people going in there. Again, Collins hitting it. I mean, this was a game, honestly, where the Hawks should have won. If we look at the highlight, or we look really quick at ESPN and just look at the stats of 3 points in this game, it was actually kind of crazy to see that I believe that the Hawks, they shot 40%. At the end of the day, the Bucks shot 37, so it wasn't too bad, but definitely was a poor shooting performance in the first half. You could see that Middelton just kind of went off in the second half, and you could see that he had almost a triple-double, just needing 3 more assists. But 38 points was an amazing thing to see from Middelton. I mean, Middelton in the second half was amazing. Again, just absolutely took over. But, first half, it was looking like it was going to be a Bucks dominant win because they got Giannis in foul trouble early in the game. Again, the high pick and roll. This, to me, again, another thing where I just don't understand what Brook Lopez is doing here. Let me see where I'm hearing that from. Oh, I'm hearing that from there. Again, great. The adjustments they made in Game 2 were amazing. And then all of a sudden, you see in Game 3, you see Brook Lopez kind of waddling back, being in that drop coverage instead of just at least being vertical. I understand that, he's low because he's like, okay, I want to make sure I tag Capella so he doesn't get the lob. But, again, it just leaves an open lane for Trae to hit the floater. And, again, you see here that Giannis is going to help off a little bit more. Probably helping off too much. Would love to see maybe a little bit of a kick out. But, again, because Brook Lopez wasn't vertical enough and didn't stay in the air enough, in my opinion, that's what allowed this, basically I would call it almost uncontested floater. But Trae Young is an excellent floater shooter. You can see that, he really worked on his floater game, and you kind of see the run that the Hawks or the Bucks are making in this instant. But still, great kick ahead pass to Bogdanović there. That was one of 2 of Bogdanović's threes, and we'll talk about Bogdanović. As someone who was a huge fan of Bogdanović, I was really disappointed in him tonight. We'll talk about it towards the end of it because, again, it to me, I think it's a bigger issue, more so that they're missing DeAndre Hunter, in my opinion. But Bogdanović has to step up offensively in this role. Again, they tried to switch that. They kind of forgot that they were switching and then gave up a shimmy 3. Again, Middelton made a tough bucket there. But that's the thing. Middelton made tough buckets. I mean, as much as we could say that the Hawks didn't really play good defense, or they played, the best defense that they could. Middelton was just unconscious in the second half and just gave them an opportunity in this game. I mean, really, he's the one that saved him in this game, from it being so close to, kind of holding that 12-point lead. Trae Young doing this dance again. Not bad. I think Bobby Portis played a really good role. To me, I think the bigger thing that I noticed more so was that they need to do a better job of Giannis driving into the lane. They need to be early and dig. For my basketball people that don't know, a dig is basically where you will, as soon as you see someone in the post or you see the spin move, you're reaching in there to go and get the ball. That's what we mean by dig. So, in my opinion, I thought that they should have had early dig, and they did have one in the fourth quarter in the sequence where Giannis did try to spin. I believe Kevin Huerter, or maybe it was Solomon Hill, got the jump ball. Maybe it was a steal. I think it was either Kevin with the steal, and then you had Solomon Hill with the jump ball. Forbes hitting his shots, trying to keep them in this game. And really, like I said, the Hawks really should have won this game. They kind of had a role going on with the Onyeka Okongwu, Lou Will lineup, and I really like that. I just thought that after Trae Young got hurt in this game, they really should have done a better job of maybe just, as soon as Trae Young put up that wild layup attempt that he was trying to go with, they should have just taken him out, put Lou Will back in, and just kind of let him go to work and let him be that Trae Young role. Is he going to hit the threes like Trae Young? No, but the big thing that you really needed from there was just for him to just, be a scorer. And that's what you really need out there. And with Trae Young out there, especially after he got hurt and came back in, he just didn't provide the scoring that you were used to from a guy like Trae Young. It was, I believe he was like 0 for 4, 0 for 3 in that sequence where he came back and just didn't score anything. Again, nothing you can do about that one. You're just going to have to accept the role. But here, I think to me, this needed to be Bogdanovic. Either you need to have Bogdanovic come in on the help side and just try to dig in there. Because, at the end of the day, I think Drew didn't really have that great of a game. If I look back at the stats, let me look back really quick. I don't believe he had a great game. He only had 6 points and was 2 for 11. I'm going to live with Drew Holiday shooting those ones in that game. I still think you leave him open and let him shoot those. But again, what frustrated me more so about this play and this scenario is that you get Giannis on, again, a spin move. Because John Collins, not really known to be a good defender. But what frustrated me is that that the spin is coming. As soon as someone steps in front of him, because he's so big and so lanky, he's able to get inside the paint on just one spin move. You needed to be there, Bogdanovic, and really dig in. And like I said, we'll talk about Bogdanovic on offense a little bit later. But again, Bogdanovic should have been in there to reach, and it just allowed an in-one opportunity instead of trying to reach in there and stop the ball. Gallinari played a tremendous game, and it sucks to see that game goes to waste in a winnable game for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, again, just kind of fell asleep on that possession. To me, it's like I don't need Gallo to be in help with Drew Holiday. I know they're trying to trap Drew Holiday, but at the end of the day, you just gave up a cutting from the 45 Giannis to basically just getting a free dunk. If he was really on one, he would have just took it off and just went above the rim with that. And that's really what it should have been. Trae Young made some tough shots today, but they're going to need more than these tough shots to win the ball game. And they're really going to need guys like Bogdanovic to really step up in these next couple games because they're 2 for 10 on 3-point attempts. It's just not good for a guy like Bogdanovic, who's supposed to be this, the missing piece to the Hawks. You got him all this money, you thought he was going to be the guy, and then it's just one of those things. You're frustrated with it, so we'll see what happens. Again, great pass by Kevin Huerter to Capella. Again, if Giannis hits that, I'm okay with it. I just think they need other people besides Giannis to beat them. And it doesn't mean Middelton. It just means more so just take away the spin because usually the help guy is going to not be Middelton at that point. I don't think like the only time you ever don't help off if it's Middelton in the corner. That's it. Like even Drew, like I'm not helping off of Drew. Or I am helping off of Drew. I'm not helping off of Middelton, but anyone but Middelton, I feel like you just have to help. And again, I thought this was offensive interference in my opinion, but it's just kind of hard to tell for the ref. The ref can't really get a good angle on that. And it was a great game. And then in a second, you're going to see here another drop coverage there from the Hawks with their drop coverage. Again, Brook Lopez just a little tad slow, and that's the reason why you can't play too up high on him. Again, I kind of like that matchup of Middelton just taking on that guy. Just can't be getting away these like easy dunks. Again, this to me is a perfect example of what to do when Giannis is about to spin. Ready to help, ready to dig. Bogdanovich does it. Obviously, got blocked. No, that should have been a... And that to me was just one of those where you just look at it and it's like, it's just not... You need just a little bit better there from Bogdanovich. And again, Bogdanovich just offensively wasn't there today. Defensively, I felt he did a really good job. But defensively, he did a great job. Offensively, it's another story, and that's what's going to really cost him. Again, I'm living with that shot. I'm okay with Giannis taking those deep threes. It's not his game, and, it's kind of is what it is at this point. You just have to live with it. And, you got Bobby Portis again. Bobby Portis came up with huge minutes for them. I thought the Bucks did an excellent job of utilizing their bench guys. Guys like Bobby Portis really were offensively just helpful. And again, you see there, Trae Young got hurt, and this is when I felt like the series or the game kind of switched the momentum. And Gallo did really well. I thought the second unit for the Hawks did really well with Onyeka, Lou Will. And then all of a sudden they decided, to put Trae back in, which is fine. He's your superstar. But I just would have rode out the pine with those guys and kind of... the reason why I would have rode the pine with those guys is because they were already carrying the momentum of the Hawks at this point. It wasn't one of those where it's like, oh, well, they're struggling, but Trae is hurt. I'm not going to keep him in. But I think at that point, it's like those guys were rolling. They were on a roll. They got you that 98 to 88 or 93 to 88 lead that you needed. And then all of a sudden, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to change it and put in Trae Young, which you could tell, from here on out, you're going to tell that Trae Young just wasn't right in this game. And it just sucks to see that they like I said, the Hawks wasted a great opportunity at home to win and get themselves into the next round, which is, of course, the NBA Finals, and get themselves a 2-1 lead. Instead, they're going to be down 1-2 going into next game. Again, like I said, Bogdanovich didn't really do too much this game. Gave you some tough buckets, but defensively, it was just tough. And again, Middelton just went nuclear in the fourth quarter. It was just so many points. Again, you just kind of live with that. But again, this is where Trae Young's defensive liability, and again, Trae got switched on to Middelton, and that is always going to be doomsday if you get Trae Young on Middelton. It's just not a good look. And it just kind of caused a momentum shift. And again, we'll see here. Let's see here. I just want to make sure our stream is going live. Let me see here. It's just not a good look. Stream suspended for policy violations. Great. Oh,